Hey guys, welcome to the stream. We are working on day 4 and we have done a bit of work yesterday at night, etc. And I'm going to show you what we've got. Here it is. We have done a little bit with the camera to get it the way we want it. It isn't complete yet. And we now have interaction. Okay, we're not completely happy with the key binding type buttons, but it works. Now, most of this code has now been moved into the parent, so I shall show you that. And we are getting let's have a look to see where the problem is. Okay, so whatever it is, we're not setting. That's an interesting one. Going to leave that for now. Okay. Not 100% sure if that is actually correct or not. It shouldn't be, but it might be. So we're going to have a look at it. Right. And we shall see where it's erroring out. And it's obviously when we are setting our interactable object. Okay. Okay. So if we escape, yeah. So that's that problem sorted out. Now, this code has now been moved into the interactable item, along with add item to inventory, object inspection. We have obviously now set an outline mesh so that it gives us that nice white thing, and clearing it as well. And yeah, so basically what we need to do now is set our different types of items, interactable items, and what they're going to do, right? And in fact, in our interactable item, we are going to set a few variables. We're going to say can inspect, which is going to be a boolean. We're going to say can pickup, and we're going to say can use. Okay, and we compile that, and we're going to default these to true for the moment, and we shall also make them editor available. So the point here is we only want to show the buttons. We only want to show the buttons that are relevant to this particular thing, okay? So what I mean by that is, say this item was pick up only. We would only want the pick up button to show, right? So from that point of view, we need to look at our interact and find out what we are going to show. And for that, we are going to say item, okay, and it's going to be BP base interactable, okay, and we're going to expose on spawn. And on event construct, we're going to basically remove our buttons, etc. So basically, we can get our item, and I'm thinking we'll do a sequence here just to make it kinda obvious and straightforward. Since I'm working as a part of a team, hang on, interactable item, these are all good. We should be able to see these. Interesting. I wonder if we change this and close that out. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, if we want the space interactable item, right, what we actually need to do is, oops, delete that, and then if we go into base interactable item, right, so that's can pick up. Now this doesn't control anything, this is just purely for display. But we will use these. Well, let me put it another way. Well, in the case of this widget, this is purely for cosmetic reasons, but we are going to use these to whether or not this is going to fire interfaces, right? So this becomes BP base interactable again. Okay, so once that's done, we can basically say can inspect, then we can say can pick up, and can use. Okay, and we're basically going to say not to all these, and I'll tidy this up in a minute and we'll get it all working. That's going to go in there, that's going to go in there, that's going to go in there, and then we're going to branch, and we're going to duplicate that, that's going to go in there, that's going to go in there, and what we're actually going to need to do is we're going to have to turn these horizontal boxes into variables so that we can either hide them or remove them. So we can say HB use HB underscore pickup, and finally HB underscore inspect. Once these are set, we can go to our graph right. That one's actually, yeah, that's okay. That's inspect and that's use. Okay. So now what we can do is grab that, give ourselves a bit more space here. Do that. Did anybody watch the football? The Brazil game? It was over in 10 minutes, which was all a bit of an anticlimax, but there we go. Shit happens. And we shall bring that down there, add that pin there. So we can either say invisible or we can remove from parent, right? So we can drag that in there. This can go up here. Drag that across. You might be able to hear the wife cooking. Don't know what she's cooking, but anyway. Can do that, and that should be us, right? So the point here is, if we go to the details and we go to our clothing and we turn everything off, I have no idea what time dinner's at. So now, if I go up to this, it should show nothing. There you go. It's not worth the travel, mate, I can assure you. Access none at the branch. Okay. And again, I'm getting the feeling here that we're going to have to do a compile, a refresh all nodes, and a compile again. Right, so that these are now correct. You'll see that nothing comes up, right? Because we can't interact with it. And there's something weird going on here. So I think we'll add the breakpoint. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. It's okay. It's okay, I know what's wrong. Now, the interesting thing here is when we interactable item, you'll notice here that that wasn't connected. Right, so we should still get nothing, but it shouldn't give us an error this time. So we're going to dismiss these two. We're going to disable that. We're going to resume. Right? So you'll notice now we have no errors, okay? So the question now is, if we click on use, right, and save it, and then press play, you'll notice that use comes up, right? That's beautiful. Now we can press inspect. And we can see that we've got the two. Right, and finally we can save this. It's kind of hot here today. We can get all three. Okay. Right, and again we can basically switch, let's say, inspect off. And there we go. So we have an adaptive interact system, which we can now extend to our various blueprints. Okay, so if we now go to here, right now I am absolutely tempted here yeah, the keybinds aren't there yet, but we shall do that when the time comes, so that you can do the keybinds however you like. Right, now this is where we need to make a decision about how we're going to handle our interface, right? Because fundamentally these three messages are really the core, and they should probably be here, right? And we should now slightly change our interface, okay, and basically add new functions, and they're going to be, well, first of all we'll say pick up item, okay, and then this one is actually going to change to just use, and then we're going to compile that, then we're going to add a new function, and it's going to be inspect item, and then our final one is going to be use item. Right, now these are going to be the individual calls. Excuse me. These are going to be individual calls to the actual blueprints themselves, right? Rather than to the parents of the BP interactable item or the base interactive item, right? So basically we're going to change this. These we're going to basically say can use, right? And we're going to say branch. Now we could get the interface to handle it by just basically not writing the interface for that particular thing. but this gives us better control over what we're doing, right? So we get a reference to self, and we say use item, here. Okay. And we basically do the same thing. Well, no we don't. Okay, we just use this branch and this self, right? And this is the pickup, so we say can pick up. Okay, and we say pick up item message, that goes in there, drag that to there, drag that to there. Right, so whereas before what we did was the display part, this is the actual functionality part, right? So basically we're saying that if the event pickup is fired, if we can't pick up this item, then we do nothing. If you're allowed to pick up this item, then it fires the pickup on the actual item itself, okay? I'll show you this working in a second or two. Once we've got this finished, I'll show you this all working. And we're looking for the inspect item message. Drag that up over here a bit. Stick it in true. And I'll need to pick a colour for interface calls, right? So that we can identify interface calls. Right, we could always have another event graph and call it the interface event graph or something. Right. So now, if we go into our BP clothing, right, what we do is we say event use item. Right. Well, the problem is we've already got stuff that's got like neon blue and green. So this is going to be event pickup item. And this is going to be event inspect item. Okay. No, it's to outline interface calls. Right, so we should now be able to run this, and we can use it and pick it up. Right, so now the pickup should work. Right, and there we go. Okay, now if I cancel that and we run this now, we shouldn't be able to pick this up. And we can't. Right, I'm pressing the button to pick it up and it doesn't pick it up, which is exactly what we want. Okay. So this is all well and good. We are getting a lot of errors, but I think that's because of the second part, right, which was this item here, because I need to update this, right, because this is all wrong now. Okay. So our next part no, it's just the rapid change in temperature. It's really changing a lot at the moment, where 1 minute it's cold and the next minute it's actually quite warm. I'm actually sitting here in a t-shirt and I'm sweating. And the wife's cooking in the kitchen, which is open plan, so it's getting hot in here as well. So there's that. Right. So this is our BP fuel, right? So basically what we need to do is copy this crap into the BP fuel. Okay. But the easiest way to do that is actually to delete this. In fact, I'll cancel that now, right? So delete that, right? Then we shall delete that. We'll have a copy of this as deciding whether it's going to delete or not. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. And we're going to say fuel. That's all well and good. Okay. Then if we drag this in, well, that's weird. Because that's kind of tiny. Oopsie. Oh no, it's not that tiny. It's that audio controller that's bloody huge. Right, so if we go to our clothing again, and that's number 2, I think this should be number, it doesn't really matter what it is, to be honest. We can go to 3, right? And there we go. We can pick it up. And I set that not to be able to pick it up, which is awesome, which shows it works. We did get some errors. Oh, damn it. Right. No error there. Right, so fill all of them. Pick it up. Pick it up. Go to inventory. There's our 2 things. We can view them. That's good. Okay. That's looking very Skyrim-y, I've got to say. Then we can exit. And no errors. Right, now there was one thing I did want to do here. Right. And it's to do, right, I'll show you actually, right. What it's to do with is we're going to be getting backgrounds, right, for various things, especially for our inventory, and I'll explain it in a second when I bring this up. Right, so like this is going to have a background, right? But the problem is these are images, okay? But we want them to be like this, not moving, right? Not moving, but this has no background, right? Okay, so if I put something behind that, you would be able to see it, okay? And this is what we want from these, okay? So what I'm going to do is we're going to have a look at the inventory, right? And you'll notice that this has got matte inspection, okay? Now matte inspection has a little bit of extra stuff in it now, which basically takes the R and uses it for the opacity, okay? So what we're actually going to have to do is do the same thing in our inventory, right? So we're going to have to create a material and we're going to say, we're going to call it my inventory item, okay? And it's going to be translucent and it's going to be user interface, right? Because we're going to be using it in a widget, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to get a texture sample, okay? And then we're going to convert it to a parameter and we're going to call it image, right? We're going to do that. I don't know why it's doing that. That should be parameter. Right, wait a minute. Right, let's just pass in a texture, right? And then convert that texture just so we've got, making sure we've got the right thing here, right? So if I drag that in, right, it's the same thing. Maybe you need the default image, I don't know, right? But anyway. Right, so we're going to pull off and then multiply it, and I believe we multiply it by 2 if it's going to let us. Right, and we plonk this into opacity, right, I never even heard the dog. Was it my dog? Must be concentrating too hard. Right, either way, we're going to do this, right? And my machine is deciding it's going to go on strike at the moment. Okay. So, no, I don't think it was my dog, because I would have heard it. Well, I think I would have, considering it's only about 5 feet away. Right, so we're going to see how this goes, right? So it's going to be inventory slot. Wow, my machine is really struggling for some reason. Are you blaming my dog for this? Is that what's going on here? Now, it growled there. You see it's being... You're persecuting it, so it's growling. Meanwhile, my computer has decided to stop doing anything. It only does... Oh, there we go. It's done something. Right, so... Yeah, that was my dog. Right. So... in the inventory slot... Right, it keeps... My computer just went... It's deciding what it wants to do at the moment. It's just not doing anything it's told. It's just going, I'm going to do what the hell I want. Hey Azodai, how you doing? Right, my computer has decided it does not like materials, and therefore it's going on strike. And it's going to bounce about between the inventory slot and something else, just because that's what it feels like doing. Oh no, it's deciding to autosave. Right, are you going to work now? Apparently not. Oh, apparently it's back there again. Right. It's going very, very slow. I don't know why this is open, by the way. Let's not do that. Right. It's... My computer is on strike. Right, so we're going to say it's maybe going to do this, right? So we're going to say down material. Then we're going to spell it wrong, of course. Well, not spell it wrong, but capitalize it wrong. Well, it shouldn't be that warm because it's water cooled. And it depends what you mean by maybe it's hot. Maybe hot's hot. Maybe it's because I'm hot, or the room is hot. Right, but we're going to do a dynamic material anyway, right? And my machine is now working again. It decided to have a little meltdown. So there's the image, right? So when we event construct, right, we're going to create dynamic material, and then that is going to go in there, and then it's going to be inventory, right? And then we're going to move this over here a bit, and that can go there, and then that can go in there, right? And then we need to open this again, which isn't a good idea because it doesn't like me opening this. Right, so the parameter is going to be image. Right, now we don't really need to make an instance. Yeah, obviously it was, well, I'm finding it increasingly difficult to be hot because I'm getting old, so we're going to say parameter, we're going to set texture parameter value and it's going to come from here, right? And we're a bit scrooby-doobied here. Because this should now go in here. by the way, guys, I am now completely freestyling this. I've got absolutely no idea if this will work or not, and I haven't even tried to think it through. So it might work, and it might not work at all. But we'll soon find out. Apparently that wasn't cooking for me, by the way. Right. So, in theory, if we go to here, except we don't, we go to here, right? And this border, we make it a different colour just for funsies. And I think I just did the content there rather than the border, which I did. Right, so if we make this red for funsies, that did absolutely jack. Right, we've got a canvas panel. Okay, what's the easiest way I'm going to get to test this? Why is that still black? Right, we'll do that. Right. Okay, that. Okay, I know, it's gaudy. It's horrible. But that's kinda not the point. So, if this has worked right, which there is absolutely zero guarantee it has, if I go like that, yeah, we get nothing. Right. So that worked really well. Which of course means that our image right, let me try something, right? Let me try something. What I'm going to do is vector that into there. Save that. Oh, I'm an idiot, I think. I'm an idiot, I think. Yeah, I didn't set this. Right. You see, a simple little goofball like that mucks the whole thing up. Right. And that's 22, so that's not very good. So we'll set that back to 2. We'll try this again. Now, if you don't know what I'm hoping for here, what I'm hoping for is that the images for these will basically have no background. Right, you can see them, but it's not quite right, okay? So the masking is not right, okay? And this is where we play about, because I'm rubbish at this. And what we'll do is we shall multiply that by that, then plug it in there for a laugh and see what happens. Right, because I'm not done any kind of background on materials, I just guess usually. I sometimes get it right, I sometimes get it wrong, and that's obviously the time I get it wrong. Okay. So what I'm guessing here is if I say component mask, and we'll try this. And failing this, we're going to have to look up some tutorials or something. You know what we should do? What I should do, right, is actually look at sword. I'm pretty sure it's 01. And that looks like nothing. I'll plug that in there. And have a look. Right, the best idea here is if I click on this and then I go to the actual thing and open it, what I can do is I can look at what each of these are. Right, the alpha is nothing. Yeah, so if I go red and green, RG, right? So let's go back to this material and we say red and green. Right, so let's try this. I should really actually try and do a little bit of research on what some of the basic material things actually do. Right, so that's doing jack. Whoopsie. Yeah, I didn't think that would work. What we could try is if we go to translucent, that looks kind of nearly as if it works. Yeah, we're still getting this white background for some unknown reason. Right. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Look at that. Except for the fact that that isn't opaque. But then having said that, they might be. And I might have a black border on the actual slot itself. But I'd need to have a look, right? Inventory slot. Right, we're going to have to look at this. And you see this has got a border on it. Right, so I'm kind of not surprised at that. It's got two borders, a black border and another border. And it looks to me like we don't want that black border. In fact, we want, right, I'll tell you what we'll do, right, just as a, right, appearance, what we'll do is we'll set its opacity to be 0. Right, and then we shall set this one's opacity to be 0. And I just set the content, didn't I? Or did I? Right, so that one's done. This one, right, we'll do this as well, just so. Okay. And we might need to remove these, but yeah, I'm gonna have to remove these borders. Okay guys, I'm gonna go for a smoke. So if you're enjoying the stream, hit like, subscribe. I shall be back in 2 minutes. Check out the description for links to Discord, my Patreon to support the game, and my previous game on Steam. I shall be back in 2 minutes. Okay, we are back. Let's have a look at this. What I'm going to do is put that into there. Now, this is going to muck things up a bit, but we'll soon find out. And the slots are still black. Okay. So we'll put that back in there. We'll save that. We'll go back to here. We'll change this to masked. Put that in there. We'll try it again. This is the last time I'm going to try this. You see how it works here? Right, it's working there. Right, and that's the inspection one, which is just an opacity multiplied by 2. Right, user interface translucent. Right, it's the exact same thing. Right, translucent, that goes in there, that goes in there, move that, save that, try that. Try that. Right, so the only one that's really given us anything is the red, and it's not exactly doing it for us, really, is it? I mean, it's actually doing it, right? It is actually doing it, but the problem is so what we need is for our original thing to go back to black, okay, and our outside border should actually be white. And our inside border should be translucent, if we need one at all. This is actually going to end up being it's giving us a white border. Right. So this one on the outside shouldn't be that. It should be an image, right? And it should be button lines. Right? And it should, we just want well, it doesn't really matter which one we want at this point, to be honest, but we want a simple let's go with that. Right, so this inside border should be nothing. Right. Right, so let's do that. Except that's not awfully good. So we're going to go with that. Right. And I'm now going to proceed to break this whole thing, obviously. Right, so that's not great. Hmm. Oh, when you wish you hadn't started this. So it is kind of working, right? Just kind of not great. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put this back to here. Right, and we can work on this later. It's still working off a material, but right, so that's fine. We're going to get our inventory slot. Alright, so that was actually working. Or was it? Right, this is beginning to get to me now. Piss me off a bit. Does work. But not quite as I want it to. And we can wrap this with another canvas panel, right? Yeah, but we have a little bit of a problem. I wanted some padding on this. Right, we're going to leave it for now. Let's stop mucking around with it. Okay. So, the simple answer to those is to actually get the items and to remove the black, basically. Right. Now, I was hoping to do it there with the material, but I don't have enough understanding of the material functions to be able to do that. Okay. But what we need to do is continue with our clothing and fuel, etc. Right? So we can say food. Okay. So what we need are a few structs. Now we could do these as components and then add the struct to the component, which would sound like a good way to do it. So what we'll do is we'll put a new folder here and we'll say components. Somehow that just doesn't look right to me, but anyway. Right. So blueprint class, actor component. So BPC underscore food. Right, and we'll add another one. That's BPC underscore fuel. We might actually end up deleting this because I've just thought of something, but we shall also add a structure called struct food. We'll do test runs on these to make sure that we've got the right, to check that it works and we have the right structures in place for this to work. Okay, so BPC food is going to have a we'll just call it info, and it's going to be struct food. Okay, and we're going to have a data table, and that's going to be struct food. DT underscore food. Underscore items. Okay. So we're going to save that. Then we're going to go to our interactable items and we're going to add a food item. So that's going to be 4, and our item name, let's say, is deer meat. It's going to be food, and let's say it's going to be 1 kilogram. We don't have an image per se, so we're going to say sword. Okay, we'll say knife, and that's just textures, it's not a picture. So we'll go with shield again, and we'll just go with the, actually, you know what we'll do? We'll select the picture of a hamburger or a pizza or something, right? So food, and we'll go with that, right? And in here we've not got food. We got, oh, we have got meat. That'll do it. Let's have a look at that. Well, it's a plate. Okay, whatever. That'll do. And we'll call it scraps of meat for a laugh. Save that. And we know that it's row number 4. So if we browse to here, we can get our food items. We can add, and this can be row name 4. Now, I'm not sure what we need for this structure. Percent replenished. Suppose we could just call it value. And it's going to be a float. And I'm guessing that's all we actually need. And we can say, let's say 20. I don't think we're going to need this component, right? I don't think we're going to need this component at all. So we've got 4, value 20. Right, we can work it out as we go how long. Maybe. No, we're going to go without this for now, okay? We'll just go with a value that it adds to the player. Okay, so what we'll do in this case is trying to think this through here, the best way to do this. We're probably going to have to go to our widgets and attributes, then go to hunger, graph, right? We're going to set this to 0.5. We'll go back to here and we can set this to 0.2. So all of these are going to be a normalized percentage, right? Set this to 0.5. And we need to go to our character and set him up right, and main attributes, and we shall set our hunger to 50. Okay, so when we press play, that's at 50. Okay, and now when we go into our food, I don't think I've got it there. Well, we can browse to this one. This is going to get us the food. Right? We can pick up and we can inspect, right? And if we use it, right? We can get DT row number, right? And we can say data table row, okay, and that's going to come from DT food. Then we're going to break off this, and we're going to get widgets of, except not from there, get all. I really need to sort this out. And we're going to be saying hunger and then we're going to say for each, even though we know there's only going to be one, but we're going to reference it directly soon enough, right? Right, and then we're going to say set percentage, and we don't want to stay standard macros, thank you very much. So we're going to get percentage. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we're going to say ref char main, get main stats, then we're going to break it, and we're going to say that plus that then we're going to divide it by 100, we're going to pass it in there, then we're going to set members in here, and we're going to say hunger, and we're going to pass this number in here, then we're going to duplicate that, and set main attributes, and do that. Okay, and the next thing we need to do is drop in a BP food. Right, and we set it to 4, save that, and there's our plate, and if we press I, is that I? No, it can't be I, it must be E. Okay, so we need to find out what that button is. Edit, project settings, input R. Okay, so it's R. Try that again, shall we? Okay, that doesn't work. So go back to food, breakpoint. Press R. So we're not doing it. So it's interact. So we need to go to our interact item. So I wonder. Okay. Stop that for now. Okay. Right, okay. We need action. So it's going to be use. Okay. So we can save that. And now we can try it. Where's our plate? There it is. Now we've got something. And we should see our hunger go up. Okay. We can try that again. So we step over, point 2. Wait a minute. Step over, stop that, because we didn't do that. And in actual fact, this needs to be 20. Right. So we got to our plate, we use it. This should go up by 20%. There we go. Okay, so that's cool, because we can now basically use this type of thing, this code here, to do all of our different percentages. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do in this case is when we set the percentage, we're going to lerp to it, so you get a smooth transition and not just a straight up, jump, let's say. And anyway, we're going to call that there. So if you've enjoyed the stream, hit like and subscribe, check out the description for Discord, support the channel and the game through Patreon, and or check out my previous game on Steam. The links are all in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.